Hey guys, this is part 2 of a story collab with Artificial DM, revolving around a story of a Tiefling Paladin. I'll leave a link to his video in the top right and in the description, so if you haven't watched part 1, go check it out. But without further ado, let's get started. So we were back at our base, which was effectively an abandoned tavern, and around this point, I felt pretty demoralized in roleplaying. But I was basically waiting years to play D&D, and I didn't want to be that guy and back out halfway through a campaign. Also, I didn't know much of the mantra of no D&D is better than bad D&D. And trust me, I know that now. After picking back up, an explosion happened right outside of our tavern, and we all went to investigate. And what we saw was a figure dashing away from the explosion. The warlock also found some sort of necklace off to the side near us, and a few city guards were asking questions to people who were gathering around, one of whom approached us. Again, being a noble paladin, I acted cooperatively, and once again the warlock frustratingly asked me, "Why are you talking to the guards?" This time, my argument was, because if they saw us running away, they would probably just think it's really suspicious. He basically ignored me and outright told me to stop talking to the guards. I then mentioned to the guard about the guy running around on the rooftops, at which the warlock and barbarian both grabbed my character's armor collar and yanked me away from the guard. Now, I was frustrated by this because I was almost certain that the guard would have gotten incredibly suspicious, and even put on a watch on us throughout the entire city. But my brother basically ignored that, and had the guard just casually walk away like nothing ever happened. Once again being flustered, I kind of zoned out a bit, only doing basic ability checks to help progress the story. But otherwise, I don't remember much. But the next significant part that I do remember was when we were back in the City of the Dead in Waterdeep, we had to retrieve an item from one of the crypts, and had to sneak in at night. After we got the item and left the crypt, a group of dwarves confronted us. They basically didn't like us, and we thought we did something bad to them, and they began to attack us. We fought them off and killed them. And right after that, we saw a knight on a white steed coming our way. We all kind of panicked, and the knight basically told us that the City of the Dead was closed off to civilians at night. But once again, I remembered my position of privilege. I thought, this is perfect! I can easily dissuade this guard from any suspicion. Finally, I can help my team out. Now, something very important to keep in mind with the position of privilege feature is that it literally states, people assume you have the right to be wherever you are. So I told my brother that I was going to use that feature, and I told the knight that there was nothing to worry about, and that I allowed my companions in here to deal with this dwarf threat. My brother said that the knight didn't care about the feature, and asked once again why we were here, or else we would be arrested. Then, to add insult to injury, the warlock made a lie, and my brother had him roll a persuasion check. He succeeded, and the knight just casually walked away after believing him. Now, I would have understood if something was meant to happen with this knight, like he was a hook into the next chapter or something, but no. My brother even mentioned afterwards that, yeah, I'm glad you guys didn't piss him off. He was twice your level and had crazy abilities. And from that point on, I just stopped roleplaying altogether. I also kind of stopped paying much attention because the next thing I knew, we were in another dungeon doing stuff, and eventually making our way back to our base. Back at our base, we all got invitations to join certain guilds. And this is the part I would consider the pinnacle of this horror story. When my brother mentioned Zentarum for one of the players to join, I jokingly said, "Huh, I wonder if I could join them with my awesome sneak skills." Which, I obviously knew I had poor sneak, as well as a disadvantage to it. After mentioning this, the warlock seemed to snap. He yelled at me, "You can't join that guild because you're a tank! You're a tank! You're a tank!" I kid you not. He yelled that multiple times, and my brother said nothing about it. And the other players basically acted as though the warlock hadn't said anything. I was kinda shocked at this outburst, and I simply stated I was joking. And from that point on, I only followed the players and simply attacked when it was my turn in combat. I didn't do anything else besides that. We eventually did the whole heist thing, which, once again, I zoned out for, and I don't remember much of. The main part I do remember is getting to the end where we all tried to escape with as much coin as possible. And on our way out, we encountered more guards. And once again, with my last pinch of hope, I attempted to use my position of privilege to help us get out of this situation. But this time around, the players even chimed in on how dumb I was apparently being, with the warlock even saying, "Can you stop trying to use your position of white privilege? It's not going to work." And once again mentioned, "Why do you have to talk with the guards?" And yeah, that was it. I didn't try anything anymore after that, and we all eventually made it into Xanathar's dungeon, eventually encountering Xanathar themselves, and at that point everyone was pretty much tired of it, so we fought him and died. Needless to say, I was glad it was over. I was tired of dealing with the warlock's attitude. Overall, I could understand if this wasn't a roleplay kind of group, but then again, there were several moments where the barbarian and warlock roleplayed with NPCs. So mayhaps it was just my kind of roleplaying. I'm not sure, and I don't think I'll ever understand what happened. Thankfully, this didn't kill my interest in D&D, as this kind of experience usually would with others. I think if anything, I only found myself invested more into D&D to see exactly what the deal was, if I was playing my character right, and if the warlock had any reason behind why he was acting the way he did. And to this day, I'm not entirely sure if he was playing a warlock who had that kind of attitude, or if he really was just that awful of a player. Either way, a year or so after that, I ended up getting together with some of my friends, with me as the DM, and all of us having an amazing time playing D&D. And if this experience has taught me anything, it's how not to DM or be a player. Well guys, at least the OP was able to find a new group and have fun. But as I said at the beginning guys, Part 1 was done by Artificial DM, so if you haven't watched Part 1, you should go watch that on his channel. But in any case, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I have a Discord link in the description, and as always, have a good one.